What's up, fellow Actitos? So today I'm going to be doing some work to the Honda Acty fire van. Finally, I'm going to lower it. As you can see, that gap is just unacceptable, way too big. Ez Kei Sports, he has some lowering coilovers. I should say adjustable coilovers, because you can lift and lower your Acty truck or van with these coilovers. And he has different spring rates, so soft or hard depending on whatever you want. I went with the softer ones just because I like a squishy ride, and I'm not too big of a guy, so I should be fine. Um, but your preference for sure. But behold, the power of the adjustable coilover. So full adjustable ride. I mean, you got your dampener settings, and then your camber settings, and then ride height, obviously. And we want this thing to be all the way up here, obviously, because we want it to be sitting on the ground. But super stoked on these, so we're going to mount these up on the van and give my take on these. I paid full price for them, so this was just kind of a video to make with the van because I haven't done anything in the Acty for a long time. And if guys are in the market for trying to lower their Actys and don't want to do lowering springs and want the adjustability, these will probably be a very good option for you. Super cool looking, very clean, don't look cheap at all. And they came with the spanner wrenches and cool little lanyard and a decal. So super pumped to help support this guy because he's got some good stuff. You should check out his website. I mean, his truck is bad. That thing is sitting on the ground. Really cool. So really excited to put these on. This might be a couple day affair. I'm not sure yet. I'm really just kind of trying to mellow out here, getting stuff, trying not to rush things so much, just to kind of enjoy the process, if you will. So, anyways, let's put these in. Also, I don't know if you noticed this tumor I have on the side of my head. I got a mic finally, so hopefully it's on. Can't really tell. Should be green. I guess I'll find out when I'm done here. But hopefully the audio sounds okay. They're cheap, but it will be better in windy situations or when my ducks are over here in a mating season and they're out quacking me while I'm talking. That can be kind of annoying. Although I do love my ducks, so I never do get annoyed. But maybe it's hard to hear me sometimes when they're quacking, or maybe you guys are gonna miss that quack. I don't know. Maybe I should put one of these by their beaks and get a good ASMR of a duck. Hi, sunshine. Can you give us a squeak? What is that? He's nesting on an egg in there. Where are you hiding your eggie at, sunshine? Where's that eggie? You say hi to everybody. Words of wisdom. Thank you. That's good. Anyways, let me focus back on what I was doing. Let's put these on. So I'm gonna jack it up, take the wheels off, and then we'll just kind of do a little video as I take parts off. So, and then obviously the finished product. So if you're in the mood to lower your Acty truck or van, this might be a good option for you. Okay, let's get to it. Okay, getting used to this mic thing. I'm gonna make sure my mic's on before I start jabber walking. Okay, so I took my wheel off, and here is our suspension. So it looks like we have a 14, possibly a 14 millimeter that's holding on the steering knuckle. And then we're going to need to remove the brake line, the little brake line mount there. And then there's 3 bolts up here that we can, not sure where we're going to get to those. I mean, they're obviously inside the cab. Looks like it's going to be somewhere underneath the seat. So we may, we'll see. I might have to just remove that seat to get to that. We'll figure that out. On the sandbars, it's underneath the seat, I believe. So same deal. Just kind of have to work around it. But you are on the sandbars able to reach it underneath. But these these things mount right into the body, so there's no room. So anyways, I'll get those two bolts here holding stuff on. We'll get that top, and then we'll get that thing out of there. What I like to do is I usually always grab like a 2-inch extension, and I'll grab a 12. I will grab a 13. I will grab a 10, 11, a 10, and a 14, just so I don't have to keep walking back and forth. Usually everything is a 10, a 13, 10, 12, 13, or 14. So let's see if I was right. Yep, that one's 14, and I bet you the brake one's probably a 12. Let's see how correct I am. Oh yeah, I'm on a roll today. Actually, that just means I've been working on these things too much. Actually, you can't ever work on these things too much. What am I saying? Okay, so we don't have to worry about anything with compressing the springs because we are taking the whole thing out as a unit. We're not doing lowering springs where you have to compress anything, so don't worry about any of that stuff. Not breaking with that. It is good to not have any jacks or anything on the suspension because we want it to be able to droop. So we can get the coil out. The coil over strut, whatever you want to call it, out. So this van, when I got it, had 4,300 kilometers on it. So I'm pretty sure none of this stuff has ever been touched. So this is probably the first time this bolt's ever been removed. And what's wild is all the bushings are still good. This van was very well taken care of in its past life. Well, we can probably use this now. Okay. That's our strut steering knuckle bolt. Set that aside. So it's probably gonna take some work to press it out. Which in the meantime, it does look like they painted everything black. So that's probably what's going on here. I'm gonna spray some penetration lubricant in the steering knuckle here, and hopefully it'll make it easier to break free. Hopefully that will go inside there and break some stuff up. Okay, now let's take our brake line mount off. I might need to read up on the adjustments, see like the dampener. I'll probably just see how many clicks forward and back it is, or just see how many clicks it is and then just put it in the middle and then work with it from there. Just kind of have a good middle ground if it's too soft or too hard. We want to Goldilocks and 3 Bears this thing, and man, it even has blue Loctite on it still. Okay, so I do believe that the Ez Kei kit does come with a new brake line mount, because obviously it's on the stock strut itself for the dampener. So we will figure that out when we get to that point. Now what we need to do, oh, that's not bad. We can also, I'm going to get a pry bar and spread apart the steering knuckle so we can get that off. But before we do that, I want to figure out how we get the top, like the strut mount, off. So I might have to take the seat out. Let's see. So we indeed are going to need to remove the seats because it's not like the sandbar and you can reach them, which is a bummer. So I'm going to take the front and the passenger seat out. but I'm struggling to figure out how to fold the seats up. Sounds bad, but man, I have not been in this thing for so long. I forget how anything works. Oh, I think I need to move the seat forward. Come on, baby. There we go. Yeah. Ah, yeah. Oh, still struggling. I think this side needs to come up first. Here we go. Now this side. Goodness gracious. Oh, I found a nickel. Woohoo! Okay, so thank goodness. Oh, I found some receipts. Thank goodness it's not very difficult to move the seat. Looks like just 4 12 millimeters. Let's see. Yeah. Okay, so on the van, it's very accessible. Not sure how the truck is going to be with the cab wall right behind you, but the van, there's our 1, 2 bolt, 3, and then 4. Again, this is a van, so the truck might be slightly different because you got the back of the truck right there. So not sure, you might have to hit like that, but let's go ahead and get this front seat out. See if we find any goodies underneath it. Nobody likes a dirty hand. Okay. Go ahead and get this thing off. Sorry, I keep bumping the mic. Hey, no wonder this thing wasn't working. The headrest was all wonky. I need to clean those headrests. Holy cow. Oh, okay. 3. Hey, hold up. Hold up, brother. Hold on, brother. Okay. Hold on. Okay, so, without touching a whole lot of stuff, I'm just going to slide the seat back carefully. Notice that. Still have the tags on showing you how to use the seats. Super cool. Right, people? And if you can score anything fire related in Japan, do it, because miles are always incredibly low and they're very well taken care of because they had to keep them serviced and ready to go. So you may be like, oh, I bought a Sandbar over there with super low kilometers and it's a personal vehicle. I'm not saying every time, but most of the time it has super low kilometers because it sat and wasn't taken care of, so stuff gets rusty. And there's some certain individuals with some very rusty parts from sitting for so long because they had low kilometers, they just never drove it. But fire vehicles are an exception because they had to keep up on the service throughout their life. So this one is a prime example of perfection. And the sandbars, I saw Oiwa, just somebody in California got a sandbar fire truck, 8,000 kilometers or something like that. Super, super cool with all the goodies on it. And they're usually not that much more expensive than getting a normal one. So it's like, if you want to get more bang for your buck, go for the fire service ones. You cannot go wrong for sure, unless it was actually used. This one I don't think was. I mean, it had 4,200 kilometers on it. Who are we kidding? It was like never used. Ah, bummer. So it's underneath the carpet. Let's see, how difficult is it going to be to mess up the carpet and pull out from this cross? Ah, there we go. Okay. Still, this cross member is like in the way. We can kind of get it out of the way. Yeah, perfect. I'm going to show you what I'm looking at. Okay, so it's underneath your carpet. There's like this little cross member here for your seat. So you can it mounts. So I kind of forced it out of the way a little bit, but that's okay because it's just going to get bolted back down so it's not like permanently busted or bent or anything. So there's our 3 bolts. I wonder if it's worth just cutting a small little hole right here so we can adjust the dampener without having to do all this headache of a movement, or just hope that we get it right on the first try. But anyways, let's take those 3, those look like 12 millimeters as well, and then we'll drop the strut coilover out of there. And if you got air conditioning, your unit's going to be right underneath your seat, and that's where you'd find your little like cabin filter and whatnot. Oh no. Those. So now it should technically just want to fall down. But it will probably be easier if we it's got such a high top hat on it, or strut hat, that it's probably going to be easier if we pop it out of the steering knuckle first. I don't know, we're going to have to work around with this one here. Take that back. It just takes a little force. Push down, and then oh, be careful with your brake line though. Yikes. There we go. Turn it so you don't stretch out your brake line. But there we go. So now I just need to spread the steering knuckle apart and be careful. It's really close to your paint. At least for me, I really don't want to scratch my paint. So just keep an eye on that as you take it out. As I dink up my paint, I'm going to push on this with my knee at the same time. Oh man, that's really close. Please don't hit. I should probably put some tape there. Ah, there we go. All right. Cool. So didn't have to disconnect the sway bar or the steering linkage, which you typically would on the sandbar, I think, unless you did really push on it like I did. But here's the stock coilover, dampener, strut, and yeah. So we'll set these aside. No longer need those. And now we're going to make sure I didn't booger anything up. Brake line's still good. Let's go ahead and put the easy Ks in. All right. So obviously, this is camber, in and out. So we want to make sure how we mount this thing. Which, yeah, we want to make sure that we mount this thing so that this is going out and in, which would gonna get mounted basically like this. So let's get it in the steering knuckle. I'm not entirely sure where I want to set it quite yet, because I guess we could put it up to the stock one and see where it sat before. We're just really gonna have to play around with this thing. I'll probably put it like I don't know if this really makes a difference, but I'm measuring going off of the height. So obviously the left one is easy Ks and it's really sucked up. So maybe I'll put it, an inch higher than where this one sits at. So then maybe we get an inch of drop. And again, I've never messed with adjustable coilovers before, so this is my first time. I've always had lowering springs. I'll just put them in and you're good to go. But I've never had something fully adjustable, so I'm learning. We'll see how they go. So I'm gonna mess around with it for a little bit and I'll get back to you guys. Okay, so you're gonna want to do this if you get the Easy K's. It has the brake cable or brake line little mount here. You want to take that little bottom sleeve off, and I took the little like pressure washer here, lock washer if you will, and put it up against the bottom little adjuster nut, and then this will go on underneath it, so then it pushes up against the bottom sleeve here. But this is so you can bolt your brake line back up, so make sure you put that on before you put stuff together. So I'm going to go ahead, and start getting it together. We also need to make sure that when we put them on, it has the grooves right here. See the groovies? Gotta make sure that our bolt goes through the grooves so it fits. So whatever we put this on, we just gotta make sure that angle lines up. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna measure the stock coil up against this one and see if we can figure out a good height so we don't have to do so much adjusting when we're done. Actually, I think what I'm going to do just for reference, we have just like a base starting point. I'm just going to put the sleeve flush with the bottom of the strut, and it looks like it's about 2 or 3 inches lower. So we'll start with that. And if that's too low, then obviously we'll jack it up and push the sleeve down a little bit farther, and then we can measure the this part so then we can match the other side. So I'm going to take the spanner wrenches that was supplied, get it tightened up, and then we'll get it inside there. The sleeve is in. Gotta tighten. Because that sleeve is okay tight, because now all we're doing is adjusting the coil over. Okay, so sleeve is tight. Now we can get our brake thing lined up, our brake mount, and we're flush with the bottom of the sleeve, so that's where I'm going to leave it as like a base point, and we'll just get it tightened up a little bit so we can. I don't want to get too crazy because it's probably going to need some mat adjustments, because again, I've never done this before, so I don't know where to really start. There we go. Oh, don't scratch it up. All right, so that is tight like a tiger. Go ahead and get it bolted up to the top. Let's see. Wow, that's a lot of turns. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 30. So 15 clicks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay, so we're in the middle between soft and hard. Not quite excited, but not quite not excited. Get it. Oh man. Gotta turn the steering wheel. Okay. Ghost in that wheel. We'll tighten that up when we get everything lined up. Okay. There we go. Okay. So got up in the holes with the use of the jack. Let's get that pushed back out of the way. Let's let it drop down a little bit. There we go. The flange nut's a little difficult to get. Whoops. Shoot. No, there we go. Okay, there we go. Let's start tightening those up. Those are not 12s, those are probably 13s now. Just kind of getting things tight now. Suck the top hat up. Strut mount, whatever you want to call it. Stupid crossbar out of the freaking way. There we go. Well, man, better hope you got your adjustment right on the knob the first time. It's really hard to get your finger in that hole there, so might be able to if it is it round or is it shaped like a socket? Oh, it's round. Balls. I wonder if I could get like, can't even get some pliers in there. Well, let's just hope going mid just makes a good ride, and all we need to worry about is the ride height. Okay, so now let me show the brake. Okay, so just make sure that you got your little air brake mount set at a slight angle right here. So we'll get that tightened up, and it's like at a good spot where I put it like right there, so we don't have very much stress on this end. And all we'll do is we'll check the steering on the other end to make sure it doesn't stretch out. So let me put the bolts through that and get that tightened up. Okay, so not really any stress here, so that's good. I mean, I could probably move it back a little bit more. So this is full bumped out this way with the steering to the right, so we're loose. Now let's go to the right. Sorry, I don't know. Maybe I said left. I don't know. And we're full bumped out that way. Plenty of slack. So I think we're all happy with the steering. Ghosting. Yeah, I'm happy with that. So, okay, so that's what we're sitting at right now. A good almost an inch. That's probably an inch and let's see. A little over socket. But this is what we're going to test on this side. I'll put the wheel back on, we'll drop it, and see if it's too crazy. And if it is, then we'll mess with it. But at least this is a good starting point with that strut being flush with the sleeve. So let's go ahead and put the wheel on and see what happens. All right, mic on, hopefully. Man, that's annoying. Yes. Moment of truth. It's already sucked up a little bit. Just a little bit. So let's see what it sits at when it's actually under pressure. I have a feeling it's going to be too low, but let's find out. It'd be sick if it was first try. These out the way. All right, here we go. How low are we, my brother? Oh, dang. That actually might be perfect. Look at that. Oh my gosh, that's amazing. That is absolutely amazeballs. All right, I think I might have just nailed that one first try. It is about an inch lower at least. So we'll do the other side and we'll give it a test drive and we'll see if it settles down and if we can lower it a little bit more. But dang, that looks sick already. So pumped on that. Sweet. All right, my phone's gonna die. I'm gonna have to go charge it and do the other side. Okay, side 2. This is what I'm gonna do. Be super accurate with that one is I'm gonna measure the gap. And we'll set that knob halfway again. But what I'm gonna do is measure this on that one that's already set, which looks like it might be good when it was on the ground. It was about an inch gap between the tire and the bottom of the door. We'll use this, measure this gap, and we'll get that on the other side. So I just wanted to show this on the passenger side. It looks kind of, this is all covered with carpet, and you're like, oh shoot, I gotta pull up all the carpet. Just pull up on here. It comes up real easy, and then we'll just slip it back up underneath this plastic here. Just wanted to show that for the passenger side. And obviously 4 bolts for the passenger seat, real easy to lift up. Ooh, got the Honda tool bag. All right, back to it. Okay, it's pretty dark right now, but we got both sides on. We are 100% sitting. I mean, the back was pretty much matching the fronts. Hopefully my mic's linked up right now. So the back was pretty much matching the fronts, but I'd say we're a good inch lower than the rear, so we are going to get the lowering leaf springs for the back. I'll have to order those. I just wanted to see how it come out with the fronts. But we will do a recap or another video tomorrow on the ride, and if I need to make any adjustments on the height wise, because these are 15-inch wheels, and we'll see if we do any rubbing. But oh my gosh, that looks so much better than it did before. Holy cow, that looks awesome. Thank you, Ez Kei's. Easy. He did provide a spanner wrench. Those ones, they kind of suck. They don't really grip on those little collars in there. And he did make his own spanner wrench, and it's like fits perfect and snug in those slots. So thanks, dude, for making that. That worked awesome, because those things suck. They just slip right out, and you'll scratch those little collars or whatever, little locking rings. But man, that looks good. And super easy. Super easy to bolt up, and came with that little mounting hardware for the brake lines. And all I did was use my caliper to measure each one for the right thread and all that, because they're basically sitting at the bottom of that sleeve. I showed it in the earlier, so it was flush with the bottom of the sleeve. So then from there I worked off of whatever gap that was. So they seem to be matching pretty well right now. So we got about, you know, a good finger, 1.5 finger gap in there now. So a little stink bug, but we'll lower the rear with the leaves here pretty soon. everything kind of sucked in there a little bit, which looks cool. I did have these spacers on here, but I'm going to take them off. I like that look where it's just like sucked in there. Looks really cool. All right, so we'll recap tomorrow and see how it does driving, because I'm going to go get some dinner, get ready for bed, because I'm an old man with a love for small cars. But yeah, she looks pretty good. All right, we'll reconnect tomorrow when there's light and we can do some testing. Cool. Peace. Okay, day 2 test drove with the suspension that I had it set up with in the video the day before, and it's perfect. So how I set mine up was I put that sleeve basically flush with the bottom of the strut, and I put the dampener, dampener setting on the strut itself, right in the middle, so about 15 clicks. And I'm riding on 15-inch wheels by 15 by 5s with one, let me just double check. And as you can see, I don't have that mic. I don't like the audio of that mic, it sucked. I ended up getting another mic, so hopefully it'll sound a lot better in the next video. I apologize about that. These are 175/50 15s. So that is where we're sitting. I'm about a finger gap between the tire and the bottom of the door. No rubbing. I think it did have a little bit of rub on full turn on the, if you turn full right on the right side, the inside I think rubbed just a little bit, but nothing insane, nothing rubbing on the outside where you gotta worry about rubbing on the body. But that setup worked. Again, flush with the bottom of the strut, gets you about this ride height here. Set the dampener in the middle, and it was a pretty smooth ride. And they're the 4.5 kilogram coils that you can get, and the other option was 6, which I'm guessing is a little stiffer. But the ride was great. Didn't bottom out on the one section that I go down my road that I usually bottom out on my other van, which is not even that low and it bottoms out. So just to goes to show that lowering springs aren't always the best option. But now I just got to get the rear lowering leaf springs for the back, and this thing's gonna be perfect. I am going to adjust the camber, that I'm gonna have to take the strut out and redo the top hat and get them to come out, because they're slightly kicked in on the top just a little bit. So probably won't take too much adjusting to figure that out. But my take so far, awesome. Super good buy. No buyer's remorse. These are great coilovers, and they handled really well for this big heavy van. So it'll be even better on the truck. But yeah, Ez Kei's. EZKSports.com. That's where I got him. Check him out on Instagram. Great dude, very helpful. He even warned me. He's like, hey, 4.5s might be a little bit too soft. You know, I'll swap them out for you if you want the 6s. So he's not going to leave you hanging if something's not right. He wants to make sure you're happy. So if you're happy, he's happy. Cool. Take it easy, guys. Check out those coilovers on his site if you're planning on lowering that Acty, because that's good stuff right there. I'm super happy with the way it turned out. All right, so next video, I'm not sure what the next video is going to be. Maybe lowering leaves on the van, show that, because not a whole lot of people are doing that. They're always squashing their leaves or taking a leaf out, but I want to get the actual lowering leaves and do it right. So maybe that'll be the next video. Cool, awesome. Again, take it easy, guys. Check out the website, okgarage.com, if you need parts. Message me from my website if you got questions, and I'll try and help you out. Awesome. Take it easy, guys.